Why is that empty? Why is that empty? Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. This is Chris. All right, it is a fresh Monday afternoon. A little brisk. Not too bad. We are above zero, a couple degrees above zero. So, not horrible. Just gonna do, actually I should try and get that tractor started first. All right, one bale for the cows tonight. Everybody still had a little bit of hay, or both feeders had a little bit of hay left in them. I was able to get Barb in. She came in without too much fuss. Both waters are open, not too shabby. So we came in the shop here. We want to kind of see how things turned out. Get the lights on and take a look at it. Plus we're gonna fire up the heater. All right, here we go. So let's pull some tape off. Who doesn't like this, right? Who doesn't like pulling tape off? Especially off the new plastic. Oh yeah. All right, but you can kind of see this gray turned out pretty decent compared to the old stuff. So yeah, not too bad. Maybe a little light in here, but that's all right. The light's not the greatest, and this stuff back here turned out okay too. I think what I'm gonna do, because of this white striping, I just told Dad, because I had this taped off here and I've got it taped off here, I'm gonna paint right over the top of all that white. Eventually, I don't know if I'm gonna do it right now, just because it's so cold. All I need to do is sand this off so it's flat, and then paint it. Tape, little spray can, good to go. Hey, how's it going? All right, Tuesday afternoon. Just got done taking a look at the crowd. You know, some of those first calf heifers. They got some baby bags going on there. So I got those guys checked out. Then later on, we'll be down at the shop because we got to pull the trailer out because we got to haul steers tomorrow morning. The 2 steers we're going to grab from those guys back there. Because we don't have the long pen or the long alley, we got to try and lure them through there. So we shall see. We'll see how this goes. All right, so these are the 2 that we picked. We've got Gogglegerg's Fullblood. So he has a Bruno son. I think he did a really, really nice job. He turned out well. This 75 for some reason. So if you go back in the videos, he's the one that we put rubber bands around his horns. He somehow had horns. And for some reason, he just did not like really thick fill out. You know, he's definitely a lot of body. So they still turned out pretty decent. They're gonna taste great. And yeah, we're gonna get them a little hay. They got green. We got them a little water, and I just got to get Factor some hay, and then we'll go take the trailer out. All right, she's going out. So I'm really just watching the top to see how close it gets to the door. Well, here we go. Not too bad. Still got a couple of little places, like this is primed, so that'll need to get painted, but that's where I use that Bondo, and I'll be willing to use that stuff again. That turned out nice. That is solid stuff. This is kind of what the back looks like. Obviously it's a different color. This is a little darker than that stuff, but I don't really care. And then this got primed. This is where that Bondo stuff was. So not too shabby, but the rest of it can wait for warmer weather. And now we got a lot more room for activities in here. Now hopefully the steers load a little nicer than they did last time. And last time they weren't bad. It's not like they were mean. They were just stubborn. They didn't know to jump on the trailer. So we'll try a couple little things tomorrow. We'll maybe pile up some hay in front so it's a little, they got a little traction. They're a little used to running through hay. But yeah, we're gonna call that enough for one day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, good morning. All right, Wednesday morning and heading out to the barn. Which honestly, this is kind of getting me, should be getting me into the groove, because in about a week this is gonna be like fairly regular thing. Just starting to get things all set, ready to go, and then Dad will get here and we'll get him set up, we'll get him loaded, and then I'll get off to work. All right, they loaded up much nicer than the last group. Dad did, he did try out his hot shot. Again, we don't, that is not a normal thing. We do not do that often. We don't like doing it. But there are certain situations where literally just giving them a little tick to make sure that they're going in the right direction. That is the only reason we would use it. And he only used it once. Again, this is not the greatest loading situation. I'd kind of like to set up something that would go like right up here, and like this would be our backstop. We could even reinforce this a little more, and then they would get into here and then take a hard left to get on the trailer. So, all right, I need to clean up just a little bit here. Most of this hay, actually, I'm just going to leave right here because the calves are going to eat it. And I got to get in the house. I got to get to work. We'll catch you guys later. All right, so this afternoon I am flying solo. Dad's not feeling so hot, so I told him stay home. Kick back, relax. All right, looking over all the cows. Definitely got some bags coming along. Now remember, Barb is not due, I believe, until next Wednesday. But there are definitely some that are looking pretty good. Like, I don't think we're gonna make it to the 15th on a couple of them. All right, calves are all bedded. Bulls didn't give me any time. I dropped the core and then they smashed it up against the fence. And of course it's a toy. So that was fun. They got shorted just a little bit, so when I was in with the calves, the main group, sifting it out, much larger chunk fell off than I was anticipating. So that was not part of the plan, but they have enough. And for the steers, we're gonna cheat just a little bit. I'm not gonna open that gate, only because we need it to warm up a little bit, because the short chute is all frozen piles. We need it to warm up a little bit so we can scrape this. And it makes shutting these gates irritating. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dump it over the gate here. We've done that before. Again, there's only 3 of them. It's not like they need a lot of space, but we'll reach in as far as we can and dump it out. Hey, it is Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. All right, we are rolling. Got the tractor started. Dad is here today, feeling better. Why is that empty? Why is that empty? Why is that empty? Let's go check the other one, because that one's been wide open. We must have had, the little donut must have failed in there, the heater. Okay, little blue is wide open. That one looks good to go. But baby blue is froze up. 99% chance that you got a blown out heater, and that's only like 2 years old, which is odd. I do have an extra one. All right, we got the side panel off. Wondering if the heat tape failed. That one I can't really feel heat off of, but the donut feels okay. So we got the heat gun on there, and we're just gonna let it run for a little while, see what happens. Getting some water. That heat tape must have failed. We're gonna have to replace that. All right, so now we got it. It's flowing. We'll get this put back together, get out of the way, and let the bulls drink some water, because I'm sure they're probably thirsty. So, well, I did order a heat tape, but I didn't really anticipate it for this, because this one doesn't need a really big one. Went through all those super cold days, and today it's like 10-15 degrees warmer than it was in the beginning of the week and this past weekend, and it freezes today. Now we're gonna start feeding, and then I think clean out the trailer just a little bit, and we'll park that. We're gonna park it next to the shop because we want to work on that door this weekend. I want to replace, we should have that little heater plug for the Mahindra, because that thing was plugged in all night and the hose is ice cold. So that thing is definitely shot. We got to get that replaced. So we know we're not done with winter, and it would just be nice to plug that thing in, get it on a timer, let it run, let it heat up, make the start of that tractor a lot easier, because we got everything there. Just, you know, we just got to replace the heater. So even though last night was a 1 bale night, they did not finish the 1 bale that was in there from the night before. So I think we're going to do a 1 bale night again. And if it's still there tomorrow, we'll take it out and use it as bedding. Once in a while, they'll get to some hay or a type or something like that. It looks good. It looks good. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it. But once in a while, they'll get to some, they just don't like it, and they'll be like, nope, not eating that, not eating that. And since Dad's here today, we won't be cheating with the steers. I'll actually open the gate and let Dad in there, and he can actually make some decent piles. And then he'll roll his eyes at me because he'll see that I just dumped it over the fence. Still have not tried the hydrant. I'm not even gonna bother until this weekend when it warms up. Dad's exact words as he pulled up to the gate: "You cheated last night." And Factor's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm here too. Like, what about me? What about me?" He'll get his inside. He always does. So one thing I mentioned to Dad while we were working on that water, because I was like down on my knees, I even laid on my stomach so I could see like in there, see what's going on. And those 4 bulls, they basically stood there within like 3 feet of me. They really could care less if I was in there or not, which was really, really nice. You know, they didn't, like, it wasn't, they weren't trying to like come up and nudge me or nothing. So definitely showing good temperament, which our bulls usually do. The only time they get excited is when we bet them, and I will give them a pass basically every time, because that's always a fun time for them. It's new straw, they're playing around. All right, so I finally got that hose safe replaced. So we got another deco set right there. That guy is done. So I really just have, as far as calving goes, I really only have to get the one outside out here done. And that one's just a little bit more strategic, only because it's right there. So I'm replacing that whole safe with a deco, but this is also the pen that Factor's in. So I just don't, one, I don't want to spook him. I don't want him to get irritated with me and do something. Like, his temperament is, honestly, it's fine. Is he petcha friendly? No. Does he go with feed? He goes where we want him when we feed him. One thing I do want to do, and this would add to the flexibility of the barn. I mean, just a little bit of flexibility is, so we've got that gate that goes out into the loafing shed where the steers are. So like where that feeder is. But what I'd love to be able to do is hang another gate right here to close off the end of this long pen. That probably would involve sinking a post like right on the edge there so I have something to latch it to. Something to that effect. Just that way, you know, if I needed to, we can push factor out here and move animals back and forth and around and stuff like that. Or if we needed to be in here, we can lock factor in. He can either have just that little section, which honestly, I mean, it's not super little. It's like, that's probably 30 feet. You know, I mean, he's got plenty of room. Like if he had to spend an hour in there or something like that. But that would just be another way to add some flexibility. So that's on the wish list. I mean, hey, happy Friday. All right, home from work. It's Friday, so all's good. All right, checking out the baby blue. Good to go. So that is obviously a good sign. It is noticeably warmer. It's another 10 degrees warmer today, and then I think tomorrow, so it's like 14 right now. And then tomorrow is supposed to be a little warmer yet. Sunday, mid-20s, chance of snow, but that's all right. And before I go in tonight, I think I might do a little more work on my cameras. Got another one hooked up last night, so that's nice. Looks like we're gonna need a bale in here for the calves, but it's about time. Everybody's still bedded down nice. All right, so the cows still have a good chunk of hay left in this feeder over here. So there must just be something about that guy that they don't like. They ate about half of what was in there from yesterday. So unfortunately, the feeder is so frozen to the ground, we can't like flip it over to clean it out. Dad's gonna grab one of last year's or 2024 hay, and we're gonna just spread it out, make piles. They'll eat most of it and be a little bit of bedding. Still really good on mineral. So one thing Dad did get yesterday, and we'll talk more about this as we go along, but we got the bill and the full report on sending that aborted calf in, and I haven't looked at it yet, but Dad was kind of giving me the rundown of what he read. Two basic big things that stood out was they had highlighted that they were low, really low in selenium and really low in magnesium. Do I possibly step up from NutriBeef to something else and maybe go to like the Wind and Rain? Maybe. I don't know. I still think the NutriBeef's a good product. It's a solid product, and really you got to look at how it's formulated, what the consumption rate is, and then you compare that to how the other ones are. But we're back in the barn working on cameras. So I'm back here, pen 4, last pen or back pen. So these are our original Lorex cameras that, how long have we had these? These we put in probably 15 years ago, I think. They were a wired camera, and honestly really served their purpose. There was really nothing wrong with them. They did a nice job. I think the biggest thing was we didn't have great internet, but I want to put one of those pivoting ones, like the point and shoot but pivot style back there. So it's mostly just going to be pointing straight, but it will have that capability. But I got 2 of them, and I want to put it back on that little block that was there, so that's why. And I need to get the Zomoto out of the way. All right, so we got the deco set up over here. Got a pretty good view of the pen. I don't know what I'm going to do about the cord. It's so stiff, but it has a hard time rotating this way because of this cord. I could cut this block off if I really wanted to, but I don't necessarily need to. Like the position it's in right now, it covers the pen. Yep, that's another one off the list. And I did check out my scale. I got to clean it up a little bit right here. My scale does still work. Wanted to make sure that was true, because otherwise I'd have to get a new one. All right, so that means I only have one more camera that I have to put up, which would be the one right here. and then we'll get to mounting the solar one. It is Friday, it is the end of the day, it is the end of the week, so it's the end of another video. So just give you a little preview of our next video. It's going to be shop, it's going to be grinding, there may be some fire involved, so you know, stay tuned for that one. But I hope you guys like the video. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out, and of course if you got any questions, by all means please leave them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We got a new goal. It's 4,000 subs by the end of the year. I think we can do it. Just hit that subscribe button, totally free. That's all we're asking for. Help support the channel. And as always, thanks for coming along.